We also know what's the life are. He knows what it's relationship. He also know what marriage from, because when we talk about our marriage, someday he's gonna talk about us when we get married. He's gonna talk about us being in love. He's gonna be crazy when we're married. Someday he's gonna be look like a psychopath when he see me on YouTube. And he's gonna be like, "What are you saying, old woman?" And he's gonna tell me I'm a crazy woman in the rest of his life. And because he knows what marriage are, he knows what adults do, and he knows what adults love each other like me and him. And because I'm sitting there always thinking about his heart and thinking about how he been when we get married when we're 49. And so he's gonna be like, well, when we get married, we're gonna have this relationship. Someday he's gonna talk about our relationship. He would have said there is men and women who could be together, and God is going to say to him up here in his mind, and he would think that there would be God coming to get him and tell him that what he's talking about. And because if he's going to know what that means, because he's going to be like, what did that mean? And how that's how I will know this is how life, like responsible young adults who can know what that means, because someday he's going to talk about the life and talk about young adults who married, and someday you might know about your life too, because um, how my life are. It's about just between me and AJ. So also we could talk about our relationship. Um, because if you had this life, if you are a man and women who is to love your life, like being together, that's what that's called. And that's how people get in love, people get married, and people want to get married together. And this is how people want to be for their lives, because this is how people will, like AJ. He's the only one in my life, because AJ's the only one. AJ Hengelman is my only life that I had. But if I always think about his heart, he always thinks about what I'm doing, and he always thinks about what I always know about him. He would have said, to me that I'm the only wonderful young adult who is a wonderful married woman who is his love his life. And AJ's is the greatest Alvin Jason Hangelman in my life. And I've been Alvin's girlfriend forever, because Alvin Jason's is my favorite boyfriend in my life, because he's going to talk about what you're talking about me. And, he's going to know what I was talking about in the YouTube. And he's going to hear me I was talking about in YouTube. He's going to say, what you talking about, old woman? And if he ever heard me about that, he would have heard me on YouTube all the time. Then he would have find out whatever I'm talking about. You know, um, because I know he invited me, and I know he's the only one who is the love of life. He's the love of my life that I talked about him. He talked about me and his life. And because our animals drive us crazy, we have Kiara and Goody in my bed. And because we're gonna have this Bible. You guys gotta remember there's lots of relationship. And like me, I always love my own boyfriend Alvin Jason, and he's the only one who is being a chicken and always being a rebo on YouTube. And he would have sit there, it's funny, and he would have think it's funny I ever laugh at him. And what is so funny? It's with him, because he's gonna drive me crazy about Christmas, and he's gonna know it's gonna be Santa Claus is coming, and and then he would have said that, we got 4 more years to go till it's Christmas. This is like 2 more weeks until Christmas because, he's gonna be like, I'm excited. It's Santa Claus is coming to town, and he also know what's a relationship. He also know what adults do, and he knows what adults do because he was the only, like, AJ's gonna talk about my relationship like he would know it is, because I'm the only one took care of AJ because he's the greatest Alvin, Jason, and he's the greatest boyfriend. If you ever heard me on YouTube, he would have heard me said, well, you're a great girlfriend too, and you're the greatest life, and I wish I were you. And I'm gonna tell him, if I was you, I'll tell him if I were him, I would have said to him that if I were you, being a Rebo, and and then he would think it's funny. I'm always laughing at him, and he's gonna think I'm silly. And if he looked at me on YouTube, he's gonna be like, "What are you laughing about? You're thinking I'm a Rebo?" you know, he would think I'm silly. He's gonna think I'm silly because he's gonna think I'm silly girl, and he would have said I'm a silliest girlfriend. Someday he's gonna say, you're a silliest girlfriend. Someday he's gonna say that if I was married to him. And he's the craziest Alvin Jason. He's the repo. Someday he's gonna call me I'm a repo. And someday I'm gonna have to tell him, you call me and test me and I will get your butt. And that's what I would say to him, And then he would have said, okay. And he's the only one who being in a great relationship with me. I wanted to tell him he's a great guy and a great boyfriend and a great relationship. He's also a greatest guy that I ever had in my life because he would have looked at me like, when you're talking about, you're going to be a repo in here. And then that's when he would know that I'm going to be a repo in my room because he's going to know that I look like one. Because he's going to look at me. I look like one in my room. He's going to be like, you look like one in your room. And I know what he is. He is driving me nuts. He drives me crazy. He was driving us crazy about us helping prances and stuff. He wouldn't know what that is because he's chicken. I want him to call me because he's a chicken. And I love him. And if you ever see me, AJ, on YouTube, I won't get your butt. If you ever see me, Mr. Alvin Jason, but if you ever see me on YouTube, you could call me and text me. But I was driving you crazy about your day, you gotta call me because I'm just only one who's watching you on YouTube. You ever watch me on YouTube, you ever think I'm funny or laughing at you, you'll think I'm silly. I'm always in my room every single day of Tuesday. This is what I would do with you. Be driving me crazy. I love you too.